I think. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Nature in Focus, our annual awards. Unfortunately, for the second year in a row, we have to do it virtual. We at Nature in Focus feel really terrible about it because for us, the festival was all about meeting in person. But we have to go on, move with the times, and here we are. So it's been a crazy year for us at Nature in Focus, and the contest and entries have been amazing as usual. We've had over 10,000 entries for the first time, and we've had over people from over 40 countries who participated. So it's nice to see the contest finally reaching global. I mean, we were a very India-specific, Asia-specific contest, but it's quite amazing to see entries around the world this year. And we had to deliberate quite a bit to go through the judging process. So before I call the jury in, I would like to invite Radha and Rohit onto this stage. We are the core team that run Nature in Focus, and yeah, hello, hi Radha, hi Rohit. So we are the core
Hi, Kalyan.
team who run Nature in Focus, and most of you have gotten hounding emails from Radha for asking you for raw files and chasing for information. So that's her in the background. Rohit's our big boss. He does all the things in the background, and we all report to him. So we're always scared of him.
That really sounds unbelievable, Kalyan.
No, it's perfectly believable. He really is the boss.
So, as usual, I mean, one of the things we always enjoyed with judging the contest was meeting in person. You know, I think the jury, most of the jury would meet in person, and we would have hours and many days of discussions and images going back and forth. We really missed that. And as you know, I mean, we can do these things online now, but it's just not the same as doing it in person. So just to let you know, yeah, it was three of us who sat through the first 10,000 images to clean up. A lot of the images which were either we knew wouldn't stand a chance, or they were in the wrong categories, or they didn't fit the contest rules in some case. As you know, we are very strict about our ethical stand. And ethics is not just about what we define, but when we see an image and we realize that the animal is being affected, we tend to not qualify those images. So it was us who did that, and the rest of the jury came in to look at the last few 3,000-4,000 images, and that too went through multiple rounds. This was the first time in the history of a contest was where the jury was truly diverse in many ways, especially geographical. So it was very hard to get everybody on board, and all as you know, most of the jury are photographers, so they travel a lot. So it took us some time to get everybody together. Look at the last set of 1,000 images, and we would like to apologize that we've been a bit late in announcing our results. We were hoping to do it about a month or two ago, but because of, like I said, many reasons, we had to delay the announcement. But the day is here, and finally here we are, ready to go. So with that, before I start, I would like to call the jury on the call. We've had a very generous jury. Rather, can you add them? First, Ditiman. Ditiman doesn't need any introduction. He is one of the top Indian wildlife photographers, philosopher, and hopefully we'll hear some of that today. We have Andy Rouse. Andy Rouse, of course, is world famous. He is one of the top wildlife photographers in the world. We were very happy when Andy agreed to be part of the jury. Andy, although he's British, he spends quite a bit of time in India. He knows India's customs and traditions and all the bad words also. So, so it's quite insightful to get comments from Andy on a lot of things. Our third jury member we have is Ratika. Ratika, welcome. She's in Little Run of Kutch at the moment, but thank you for joining on the call. Ratika, as you know, was the first woman professional photographer, wildlife photographer in India. She has amazing insights, and I've been privileged to know her for more than 15 years. So it's great to have her insights on a lot of these images. Two other jury members that could not be here. One was Bahar Dutt. She's a well-known environmental journalist. We always have one jury member who's not a photographer. It's either a researcher or a journalist or somebody who's related to the field, because they will add the technical importance to images. Sometimes as visual, it might not may have strong indication, but sometimes the conservation story or the science behind it adds value to that image. So Bar unfortunately could not be with us. Our other jury member was Navneet Unnikrishnan. Many of you know him as astrophotographer, but he does quite a bit of genre of photography. So it was great to have him. He's right now at the moment in Iceland, I think. So
Yeah,
unfortunately,
that's what he told me. Other day he sent a mail and he said he's driving in Iceland and he will try to join in. I think he's
yeah,
struggling with his network.
I'm sure Geo hasn't reached Iceland yet, so we've
I'm pretty
probably
sure about that. I'm sure very soon it will reach there also.
yeah. So thanks everyone. So can we go one by one? Actually, we'll start with Ratika first. Ratika, we'd love to hear your comments on how's the images. What was your feedback for the photographers who enter these kind of contests, and your overall perception about what you've seen in the contest?
Yeah, actually, second round we are in. For especially young photographers, I am so happy. Though we have professional other experienced photographers are photographers are okay, but I am very impressed with our young photographers, and I think it's one of the toughest. Top three to choose also, because all four images, the last 10-20 images are very good. I'm so much impressed. I'm happy also. The upcoming photographers, we gave a very good perspective. The way of seeing, even the conservation photography, I really impressed. I thought maybe only we can have conservation photo category next year, because the top three photographs I am very much impressed, and really enjoyed going through all the images. And for me, I am a hardcore documentation wildlife photographer, but seeing creative photography in wildlife, and really, I was really going through all the images, enjoyed also. And my best wishes to all the photographers who all participated, and winners also. Congratulations! I am in LRK now with a 4G connection. So in between, if I go off, please excuse me. I will be here, but connection goes off. That's what I'm telling. All the best wishes to winners also, and runners, everyone. And good evening, everyone, all our friends, Dittivan, everyone, Auntie, Rohit, everyone. Yeah, please. That's it. I'm
Thanks
happy
a
that
lot.
you invited to be a jury for this year.
Yes, thank you, Ratika. It's a great honor to have you in the jury. So, Andy, over to you. And one thing I want to add is that Andy was the first non-Indian jury member we've had, and he really got the global perspective that we in India we tend to be in our cocoons. So, Andy really got that global perspective for the contest. So, Andy, over to you to hear your comments on what you saw.
Well, first of all, it's been my honour to take part. As you know, I'm an Indiophile. I spend a lot of time in Ranthambore with Dickie Singh, most of the time sober, but sometimes not. And I have a particular love of Indian wildlife photography, as I've seen for many years in the Wildlife Photographer of the Year. It's been great. So to be asked to judge this competition, thanks a lot. It was just amazing to be part of it. Yeah, I'd like to echo the comments from Ratika, really. The young section, let's just highlight that first, because often that gets ignored, right? The young section, we were really impressed with those photographers that went out and did their own thing. They went out and did their own thing locally. It was amazing. And we had a real big fight about that category, about who was going to win, because it was just amazing, the standard of it. And in fact, all the categories, when we got down to the last few members, the last few entries, it was amazing, the standard of it. I mean, for me, my photography is all about the use of light. And it's amazing to see how many people are using light in such a creative and an artistically inspiring way, because as judges, we see lots of images. What we want to see is the one that stops us dead in our tracks, like a wow, look at that. And for me as a wildlife photographer, I want to look at an image and say, how did they do that? That's an incredible picture. I just love seeing that. I also like seeing diversity as well. I want to see as many female entries as male entries. That's a big thing for all of us. So as well as the kids, we want to see more of a diversity, which we have done. And I will encourage more female wildlife photographers to enter, please, next year. Please do that. But the standard has been fantastic. It's been amazing to judge. And it was really hard to judge. We had a long judging session. In in fact, a couple of them I can remember, to try and decide what the best images were. And those of you that weren't awarded the top spot, please don't think that there's anything wrong with your images. There wasn't. Your images were all fantastic. You know, we really had a really hard time, and it takes a lot of courage to enter your images into any competition. And I know, because I haven't won anything for a couple of years, but it doesn't mean that I stop entering. So please don't stop entering competitions. Be inspired by what you see, learn from what you see, and move forward and enter next year, because it could be your turn next year.
Thanks a lot, Andy, for those insightful words. And Andy's decided specifically to dress up for tonight's session. He's got polar bears in the background and he's wearing a penguin suit. All right, over to Dirtiman. And I know Dirtiman will have some strong comments to make, so we look forward to that. And Dirtiman, don't hold back. We normally hold you back talking too much, but you don't have to hold back today.
No, actually, after, I mean, like, I have telling same thing so many times. Afterwards, people will just kill me together. I mean, wherever they will get me, they will kill me. And again, I am going to say the same thing I told last year. And why I am saying this, because I feel, this is my point of view, my realization that it should be reached to the people, and they can take it or may not take it. It's depending on their wisdom, but I will share for sure. The first thing I want to say that I am at least not judging photos. Here we are not finding who is better than whom. This is very important for me. I mean, like, it's not a comparison. It is about what photo is inspiring me. So it is not only not only depends on the photographer, it also depends on the exposure of the jury, not the judge. Again, I don't want to utter the word that like something which is when I see images, I look for what is new to me, how a photo is surprising me from artistic point of view or scientific point of view, like documentation and maybe conservation point of view. So it is all about inspiring me, and I feel like this photo can connect many people as it is connecting me. So it is not about comparing people. It is about like how people are contributing to those those fields of art or conservation or documentation, whatever. So that way, why I convey this, so whoever participated, sometimes people feel that, oh, this photo was much better, why they have selected this. Yes, you are absolutely right, it was better to you and it was better to me. I mean, like, it is all about the photos and the the perspective of the jury members who are saying it. Like something like for Andy, we talked together many times during our judging session. Sometime we told Andy that, oh, this is very common in India, because that was surprising Andy, because he generally doesn't see those things outside. I mean, if he is not related to the places in India, there are some places where you can see some species very easily. That information may not reach to other people. So that surprises, and it was not surprising me because I have seen it. So it is not only about the photographer who is doing it, it is also about our exposure. So that way, what I want to say that all the photographers don't think that it is like who got the award. It is not that you are best, and who didn't get the award, you are not the worst. You all are trying. Why we are doing this then? If it is not comparing things, then we are doing this for just for fun and for contributing. We want to contribute to the art and the for the conservation and the documentation, whatever. So we are here to contribute, not to compare. So saying this, I want to correct Kulyan again. Like when you mention, you can don't use comparative word like top photographer. Dhidman is not top photographer. You can say he's a good photographer. He can be a wonderful photographer. Not a top. Top is a comparative word. So comparative word, there is no place of comparative word. Who will define who is top and who is below top. So there is no photographer who is in the top. We all go to the nature, which is the best part of the job we do, and we get a chance to see it. We get a chance to be surprised every day by some new things given by the nature. That is the best part of it. So we are not there to be better than Kollan, or I mean, Kollan is trying to be better than me. It is not that. So this is, I always love to tell all the photographers so that they can reboot their mind and go to the nature, try to catch new things, try to record new natural history, and see what is happening, the conservation point of view, how the issues are working, where wildlife are suffering, where we can correct it, where the conflict is. So go for that. Don't go for to win a competition. So that's why I don't say that the winner here. No one is winner. They are all are winner. All participants are winner who went to the field to take the photos. So you all are winner. In among those, some juries like us who actually inspired by some images, and this year we thought, okay, these images are fantastic, and maybe next year we will think about something else. So that is the gist of my viewpoint. And about the images, I can say, when I see images, again the same thing. Most of the images is actually surprised me, because what you guys are taking, I don't have it, so it is all are new to me. So I become confused, and I become like happy to see so many new things. So the best part of this being in a jury is like I get a chance to see so many images. So some images will not come in the list, but we have seen it. So you guys who are not seeing yourself in the list, you be rest assured we were happy to see your images, but it is not there in the list for now. But really we were happy to see. And it is I'm not saying just not I mean, like, just for saying it is. I'm telling it from my I don't say it belief, because even I don't have a space for the word believe. It is all either I know or I don't know. Believe is a dangerous word. So it is like, you know, according to my realization, it always pleasure. It gives immense pleasure to see others' images. So that way, I was very happy to see so many, and I got a chance to see more images. That Kalyan given me a chance to do that. So even I have seen more beautiful images. So continue this, and I hope that in next year people will bring back more new things, and hope to see you guys in person in, you know, somewhere where the Nature in Focus festival will happen physically. And I
I
hope
want to come too as well. Don't forget to invite me, because I will expect that invite as well from the big boss up there.
For sure, Andy, for sure. We would love to have you in India at the festival.
Well, there you go. We have a sign up of a speaker for next year festival. So we'll hold you to it, Andy.
yeah, perfectly.
So
And
Drittiman, thanks. Sorry.
And I'm done. Yeah, I'm not keeping it longer.
But I think they were really good points. You know, the fact that you enter a competition not to expect to win it because you don't want to be the winner. You expect because you take a picture that you're proud of and you want to show it to people. That's why you should enter a competition. Whenever we enter competitions, I call it fire and forget. I enter them and I forget about it, and I don't expect anything apart from just that's it. An email that says no doesn't mean my picture's not any good, and it doesn't mean my picture's rubbish. It means that the jurors found something they like more. So don't take it personally. Don't don't take it personally on us when you meet us. It's just our choice, and just as long as you like your picture, that's the best thing of all.
Absolutely.
I'm done.
And I will once we announce the winners, we will have a short discussion where Diptiman has been talking to us saying change the format, which is, instead of giving first, second, third, we just give 5 photographers per category, like an equal. These are the 5 winning images in that category. And maybe that's a fairer way of recognizing photographers, and we'll talk about it after the thing. So
Not winning, like five awarded photographer, not even winning photographer, five awarded
yeah,
photographer.
about it. Yeah,
And we all know from the judging that there were a couple of categories that would have suited this year, right? That would have suited us this year. We know, so that I think that's a really good idea, if I may say, because the competition is great as you have it. Why should you do the same thing as everyone else? I think what you need to do is do make yourself the best competition and do the best thing. So I think it's a really good idea. I second it.
Perfect. Thank you, Andy. So with that critical comments from Ditaman, we will, because we agreed to this format, we will announce the winning images. Like I said, I mean, who was on first or third, it just doesn't matter. They were all best. They were all first. And one thing I just want to add to what the other jury members have said is, and I have seen this, I've entered multiple contests, is that your image might not have made it just because the competition that year is different. If you feel strongly about an image, try the same contest the year after, the year after that, because you're always compared with another image, unfortunately, right? So that will change things. So, but don't give up on an image if you feel that it's a strong image and give up on it. Ditaman, yes.
Yeah. So I just want to elaborate a little bit your point. It's not compared actually. What actually happens is the image we've seen before, it has a less surprising factor. It's simple, very simple. So just we want to see new images. It is not about like good or bad images. Who will define it? No one. So it is all about new thing actually. So that way, so even this year also we got fantastic images, but we have seen those images before. So definitely it had, I mean, like, it's like, okay, we have seen it, now look for something new to science or maybe art. So that is the reason I believe. I mean, like, yeah.
Sure. Ratika, go ahead. Ratika, you're on mute. Sorry.
Yeah, I would like to add just to think out of box. Like Detiman said, seeing same images, it's so good. It's a perfect images, but what is new in it? It is to connect also something we have to think out of box, and maybe coming year we can see different images. Yeah, that's it.
So on that note, thank you, jury members. We'll announce the images and then we'll assemble back here to continue with this discussion. And I'll keep pulling you guys in also for some comments on some of the images. So thanks a lot, everybody. Radha, over to you to start the show.
Where is Radha?
She's
She's in the studio.
Okay.
hiding behind.
By the way, I just saw the Radha's film. It's amazing, and Radha did so well in the film. I mean, the this Nilgiri Laughing Trust film. Radha, well done.
Thank you,
Congratulations.
Jyotiman. Thanks so much.
I mean, everyone should see that film. Very good.
Thank you. Okay, so now I'm going to move everyone backstage so Kalyan can present the winners. Okay. Thanks, everyone.
All right, people, the moment you've been waiting for, and again, I'll apologize for the delay in this. It took us multiple deliberations and all that, but here's our final selection. And although we had to put it first, second, third, whatever been shortlisted, the top 5 to 8 images, you are all the same. And it's just because we had to put in those buckets, we had to force ourselves. So let's start with the announcement then. So we'll start with young photographers. Yeah. So like I said, I think we were all impressed by young photographers. I think it was amazing that I was so jealous. I'm like, when I was at under 18, I just didn't know anything about wildlife or whatever. And to see kind of the amount of depth in the images, and this is not just beautiful wildlife. We saw some amazing conservation images from young photographers. And it was really amazing to see that the young generation is so much conscious about our environment and climate change issues, and they try to depict that in the images they submitted. So we really were quite blown away by the entries this year in young photography category. So with that, we'll start with the special mentions. So with every category, we have a couple of special mentions and the second runner-up, first runner-up, and the category winner. So we'll start with the special mentions in this category. The first special mention goes to Satya. And this is an amazing image. It shows industrial pollution. We love the fact that it was not just an image of it, but well thought out with lighting, exposure. Also thought the fact that Satya thought about long exposure, just to give that depth in the image. So Satya, congratulations to you, and hats off. So we'll go out to our next special mention. Jeet Agarwal, congratulations to you. There's a lovely image of agamas fighting / courtship display going on all at once. What we loved about it is the play of light, on the trunk, the texture of the trunk that's come out in the image, and the colors, and the thing about rock agamas is just their beautiful colors when they're fighting or displaying. So Jeet, congratulations to you for the special mention in this category. Our next special mention is to Aditya Krishna of this beautiful image of a spider and a dragonfly. It's very abstract. We love the fact that it's taken in a different style, and we love the simplicity of this image. We love the fact that it's black and white. The reason was we just focus purely on the form and the lines of the image, composition of the image. So Aditya Krishna, congratulations to you for the special mention in this category. With that, we will announce the second runner-up in this category. We found this image very, very funny. Shashwat, congratulations for being the second runner-up of this award. If you've been to Ranthambore, you know that these tree pies are all over the place, and we just thought this was just extremely. So that's the thing, an image can have multiple things. In this case, it's just pure humor in this image. So Shashwat, congratulations for being the second runner-up in Young Photographer category. So then we'll have the first runner-up now. So the runner-up for Young category is Anirudh. This is a multiple exposure image where Anirudh took this image with lights in the background blurred, but he also got this spider backlit in this night atmosphere. We love the simplicity, the use of color, the use of simple shapes in this image. So congratulations, Anirudh. This is a lovely image, and congratulations on being runner-up of this category. And finally, we have the category winner, Young Photographer, and the award goes to Anaga Mohan for this beautiful image of this grasshopper with a flower. We love the fact, also technically, this is a beautiful image, lovely use of backlight and getting the textures out. And Anaga, congratulations to you. We could have her on the call here. And Anaga is, if many of you follow Nature in Focus, she's been a regular winner at Nature in Focus. So congratulations for yet another award in Young category.
Thank you so much.
So Anaga, can you tell a little bit about how you met this image and what inspired you to make this image?
Yeah. Firstly, a huge thank you to the jury and the whole Nature in Focus team for giving me this award. So basically, this image was shot in a small forest patch near Bangalore. And I saw this beautiful katydid sitting on this beautiful perch with these lavender flowers. So instead of taking a stereotype close-up shot, I thought I'll include the flowers and the whole perch in the frame. And I thought we can try some creative lighting. And with the help of some friends, we used a multiple flash setup, and we set up 3-4 flashes, and we shot this image. I would really like to thank Mr. Arjun Harith, who helped me up with the lighting and the flashes. Yeah, that's about it.
And we are blown away, Anaga. Just the technical aspects of this image were really, really strong. So congratulations again.
Thank
and
you
we look
so
forward
much.
to seeing more of your images in the coming years.
Thank you.
Thank you, Anaga. Thank you. So we will move on to our next category, creative nature photography. This was, I think, the hardest category for us to judge because when we're talking about creative images in nature, it's all about perspectives. And it was really hard for the jury to decide. I mean, because we had like 30 images, and the jury said, all 30 images were great, and we can't pick one over the other. So it was really, really hard category for us to do. And I really want to also just thank creativenaturephotography.in, the website that many of you run. I think this has been instrumental in pushing boundaries of photographers who not going for the rare and exotic, but trying to photograph something in the backyards in the houses, but trying to make a really creative nature images. So congratulations to the team. So with that, we'll start with the special mentions in this category. The first of the special mention goes to Ian Wade. We love this image of a snail with this lights in the background, and for, I mean, it's at the end of the day, the best images for me, at least, as I can't vouch for other jury members, but as a photographer, the simplest images are always the best. So we love this image. So Ian, congratulations to that. Our next special mention goes to Kollal Mukherjee of these beautiful images of Grandalas from Sikkim. We just loved everything about the image, the use of colors, the background. And Kollal has been a previous winner in our category, so it was nice to see Kollal winning again. Congratulations. It's a lovely image. And our third special mention in creative nature photography goes to Mandar. I think the jury was unanimously loved this image. A beautiful backlit shot of these mushrooms with this moth taking off, and we just love that kind of a spotlight falling on it. It's a beautifully executed image. So Mandar, congratulations on getting special mention in creative nature photography. So we'll move on to our second runner-up in this category. And the winner in this category, the second runner-up, goes to Magnus. Magnus, beautiful image of this octopus, and we love the use of the long exposure, or a slow shutter speed is what we call it, and just the simplicity of this image just blew the jury away. So Magnus, congratulations for being the second runner-up in this category. Our runner-up in this category image goes to also Magnus. So this image of salmon I should mention, I don't know where exactly it is, was loved by everybody, and Andy Rao specifically just loved this image from day one. He was pretty sure that this is the winning image. So Magnus, congratulations for winning 2 images in this category. Your images were in our winning images last year as well. So congratulations to that again. And finally, the category winner we have for this creative nature photography goes to Parthamesh. So Parthamesh, congratulations. I think this was everybody's favorite from round 1. We loved the number 1, the natural history significance of it, but also the use of light and colors in this beautiful image. So congratulations, and we would love to hear your comments about this image.
Yes. So thank you, Kalyan. Thank you all the jury members for, this is a big deal for me. Winning a category in Nature in Focus is a big deal. And yes, so this image is of a bracket fungus releasing spores, Polypore species. It is an active releaser of spores, so it keeps releasing spores. And when I first observed this, actually this phenomenon is very common since we see so many fungi around us. But when I saw this, and I somehow tend to put a backlit on it with a normal torch, I saw the vibrance of colors, and it was really surprising for me. I had not observed this before. So what I decided is I will come back to this place when it gets completely dark, and then experiment with better lighting, maybe try to create some great compositions. So in a stretch of 2 nights, I stayed on this log. This was a dead log with the mushrooms which we can see in the image. Those triangular structures are actually the mushroom releasing spores. So I came back there and tried with a better lighting. And the main challenge of getting this image was actually the windy conditions, since even a slight breeze would make the spores fly away very fast, and it was not possible to get that definition of the quantity of spores over there, actual spores over there. So I had to wait in about 15-20 minutes time. The wind would slow down and give me a window of about half a minute or 1 minute, and the spores would really flow very fast, and the composition and the overall quantity of the spores was really it was very evident, it was very apparent. So so basically what I did is I kept visiting this log for 2 nights until I thought I got the image which I had pre-visualized. And yes, that is pretty much it.
That's excellent. And I do have to say, we had to analyze the raw file because we thought the colors were not right. And it's fascinating to know that that's how it is captured.
Exactly.
And what you said is fascinating because, sometimes, most people that associate wildlife photography going on a safari and, just being on the forest, roaming around searching for animals. But what you said, just waiting at one log for 2 days, 2 nights, and going with the pre-visualized image, I think is what really creates mind-blowing images. So congratulations to that. I think this is a unanimous decision with the jury that this is such a great image. And we look forward to seeing more images of you in the coming years.
Thank you so
Can
much.
you mention where you photographed it, a little bit of the location and things?
Yes, so this was photographed. There is this place called Aja Parvat near my place, from around 70-80 kilometers from my place. So I used to go there very regularly for photographing macro stuff, spiders, snakes, and all those stuff. But when I started, actually, I was this specific night I was looking out for entomopathogenic fungus, which is like infecting spiders and ants over there. So somehow I found many ants and infected spiders over there. I was looking out for that. But when I saw this, I decided to shift things and maybe wait for making this image specifically. I would also like to as you mentioned earlier, Kalyan, I would like to thank sincerely Ganesh Shankar and Creative Nature Photography Forum, since those guys have given me amazing insights and inputs about my images, and I have seen very less people. You must be completely knowing that there are very less people who have got that eye for that vision for photography which those guys have, and they have given me immense insights and inputs. So I would really like to thank them for what I have achieved today. And this is a really big deal for me to win a category in such a prestigious award. I have been following Nature in Focus from the commencing date, like the first awards, and I was hoping maybe someday I will be featured there. And yes, so right now completely overwhelmed, and thank you so much, everybody.
Congratulations again, and we look forward to seeing more of your images in the coming years.
Thank you, Kalyan.
Great. So now we move to our next category, which is wildscapes and animal in its habitat. It's basically two kind of categories clubbed into one. We're looking at breathtaking landscape images, or images where the animal stands out or does not stand out in this beautiful landscape. Again, this was a very hard category for us to judge. Each of our jury members had our favorites, and we really fought. Thankfully we were not in person, otherwise we would have had physical brawls about whose image should go on top. So with that, we'll start with the special mentions in this category. The first special mention goes to Pratik Pradhan. This lovely image of a pit viper in the forest. I think it's from Agumbe. We just loved everything about it, in the sense of it's a rainforest. You can get the sense of wetness and the dark rainforest of it, the shape, the silhouettes of it. So congratulations, Pratik. Pratik also, again, has been multiple winner at Nature in Focus Awards. So congratulations for the special mention and with this mention. Our next special mention goes to Indranil Basu. of this beautiful Himalayan hair. If you look close, I mean, maybe it's not very obvious when you look at it, but when you look closely at this image, you realize that this beautiful Himalayan hair that's camouflaged so well, looking like any of the rocks in the snow. And so congratulations, Indranil. And I do have to say that this was Dityaman's favorite image of the lot. And Dityaman, so can we have you talk about why was this one of your, I mean, I know that from day one you were blown away by this image. Would love to hear your comments.
Yeah, because now you guys are seeing the image, and I'm sure many of you can't find the hair in first sight. You have to, take a longer look to find the hair. I mean, where the woolly hair is. And there is a personal connection also of mine. I was working on links in Hemis National Park during winter, and it was fully covered. So I spotted two links. And they were interacting, and one moment, one link actually started walking, and suddenly I found like at least 15 woolly hair popped up from the snow, and they were absolutely not visible. So that is where these the natural history behavior is linked with. So when the 15 hairs were there, I couldn't see them, and that perspective, and the natural history is depicted in this image. At first look, I can see the hair, and it is completely blended with the and you see that the hair is not white. It has a stony color, so it looks like a stone, so it is merging with the stones popped up from the snow. So it is all about how animal actually survive from the predators. So this is of course a image which uh, talks a lot to me, and it connects me. So that's why I love the image. I mean, in many photos I saw, like in a fantastic landscape, you can see one animal. So maybe that looks nice. Here, for me, it is a perfect thing because it is really blended. It's not like a forceful blendation. It is a real blending where I have to do some hard work to find the hair from the situation. So that's why I loved it.
Thank you, Dityaman. Thank you for your comments. So we'll move on to the next special mention. Next special mention goes to Udit Chandrapal of this beautiful image of Shikra. Everything else about it. So congratulations, Udit, for this lovely image. So with that, we'll move on to the special mentions, the winning images. So the second runner-up in this category is Shivang Mehta with this beautiful image of leopard. And can we have Andy on the call, because he really loved this image, and I would love Andy's comments on this as well.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not the world's best fan of camera trap images because my photography is all about being there and experiencing the wildlife. Okay, that's what I love to do. I like to experience the passion. But when I see a really, really good one that's had tons of field craft done beforehand, I think it deserves a mention. Here, Shivang has done a really good job of obviously knowing that that leopard is going to cross over that log and putting the camera trap there, so you get the you get the animal actually doing something rather than just startled by a flash. It's actually getting over the log. I like the curled foot there. I like the habitat. The balance light is really good, and I kind of like the expression there. I think it's really cool the way it's looking at the camera. It's got a really strange expression on its face. I just think it's a really interesting picture. I like the leaves in it. I just like the field craft in it and the element that's been done of it. And I say, I'm not the greatest fan of camera traps. I understand that you have to do them sometimes. It's not my thing at all. But I think this one just stood out in the genre. And I just thought it was a really, really great image, really great field craft to do it. And you get the perfect result.
Thank you, Andy. Thank you for that comments. So with that, can we move on to the runner-up in this category? And the winning image is this beautiful image of Sloth Bear by Divya Dwarak. I think everybody from day one loved this image. It's very unusual to see this kind of images from Indian jungle. So congratulations, Divya. I think most of the jury members loved it. I think it was in the top 3 for everybody from day one. So congratulations. And finally, the winning image in Wildscapes and Animal and Habitat is this, and the winner is Lakshita. Congratulations of this beautiful image of monarch butterflies. I think everybody loved it from day one, and everything about it is just stood out for us. So congratulations, and we'd love to hear your comments about your image, how you made it, and the background behind this image.
Okay, thank you very much, Kalyan. I mean, this is really overwhelming, winning one category in one of the most prestigious wildlife awards. So the story is this was taken in Mexico. So it's a long path where you have to go from Mexico City. You have to go in a bus, and then you have to ride a horse, and then you have to, trek a little bit, and then you are in El Rosario. So that's one of the butterfly sanctuaries there. So my guide actually he couldn't tell me that it is necessary to bring a tripod with me. So I was all like 400 millimeter lens and all this, like very heavy equipment. And then when I went there, I knew like it was mandatory. So my idea was to basically, this was early in the morning, so they flocked together in one kind of tree actually, for OML trees. So I wanted to take now at one point, they break away. So they flock together and then they break away. So I just wanted to take a picture, the right moment, as the very first one who's breaking away. So I was basically keeping my camera. It was not easy. Basically, it was very heavy, 400 millimeter lens, 2.8. So then I was actually scolding my guide, saying that like this was like. Finally, he found me a kind of a log, and then I was keeping the lens there, and then at right moment, like then this particular butterfly started, breaking away. So I was lucky to take that. Like I was in the right position at the right time. But I must tell you, like it was more than the photograph, the atmosphere. I never thought I will ever hear the sound of butterflies flying. So there are so many butterflies, millions of them. You actually hear them fly. So it was actually photograph is actually a bonus for me. The experience is like it's a lifetime one, like once in a lifetime.
Thanks a lot. And what you rightly said, I think that goes with all our wildlife photographers, isn't it? It's the experience that blow us away. It's the photos happens to be incidental and kind of we're documenting what we experience and see.
Exactly.
So congratulations, everybody loved this image.
Thank you very much.
Submitting this image, yeah.
Right. Thank you very much. Thank you, Kalyan, and all the jury members for selecting me. And this was something very special. So thank you very much.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you.
So next we'll move on to conservation images, conservation issues. And this is a category where we accept both images that show conservation issues, but as well as positive stories of conservation. And we were quite amazed by the amount of thought that went into people when they submitted the images. And especially for this category, the selection of images was not 100% purely on aesthetics of an image, but also we looked into what's the message that's being sent across with that image, and what's the kind of environmental story that you're trying to say with that image. So this is one category where it was a mix of, we strongly considered the story behind that image as well as the aesthetics of the image to put together to select the best images. So so let's start with the special mentions in this category. The first special mention in this category goes to Stefan of this beautiful image of shark fin. and for us, I mean, we loved everything about it, and all that's, it's an image where we're talking about shark fin. I mean, how shark fins are exported to some other Asian countries and things, but also the way the guy who's extracting it is so casual about it, with that cigarette in his mouth and things. So we just loved everything about this image and the story it conveys. So congratulations, Stefan, on this wonderful image. Our next special mention goes to Shrikant Manapuri of this beautiful drone image of fishermen in coastal Andhra Pradesh. And we debated a lot about it, and I think for us this image really worked because it conveyed a very specific issue, which is plastic pollution in oceans. And for us to see, fishermen mostly dealing with plastic pollution there. And if you look closely at the bottom of the frame, you see a stingray and things. So it kind of, complements the kind of what they're out to catch and what they're actually catching and what's happening to our oceans. So we debated a lot about this, but congratulations, Shrikant, on this special mention for this lovely drone image. Our next special mention goes to Devan Mehta. This was very hard, and one thing I do have to say is that for the whole jury, it was a hard category for us to judge because, a lot of them are, this hits you in the gut when you see these images. So in this case, it's a tern that's stuck because of these wires that's used for kites. And you can see that the chick is still there, begging the mother, and she's dead. So it was a very powerful image. Congratulations, Devan, for the special mention in this category. Next, we'll move to the second runner-up. And the image, we have one more special mention. Sorry about that. One more special mention to Devendra Chauhan. Again, we just love this drone image. It just shows how plastic has invaded our worlds, especially our natural worlds. In this case, this mugger crocodile basking on this piece of plastic sheets. We found this very powerful, aesthetically beautiful, and conveys a very important conservation message. So congratulations, Devendra, for this image. I think we have one more special mention in this, and one of the reasons we're given special mentions is that I think it's important to highlight some of these conservation images. So our next special mention is Thomas Vijayan of this lovely image of orangutan in a forest that don't exist anymore. As you know, orangutans need the tropical rainforests, Southeast Asian forests, usually Borneo and things. In this case, you can clearly tell that all that forest is gone and is just hanging on to these branches which are already cut. So it really shows us a very strong image which represents deforestation that happens in Southeast Asia. So Thomas Vijayan, congratulations for the special mention with that lovely image. So with that, we'll move to the second runner-up in this category. And the winning photographer for this is Karamjit Singh. One of the things in India and probably a lot of other places as well, we acknowledge that feral dogs are a big issue. And in this image, we can clearly see this feral dogs harassing the Himalayan brown bear. And we thought just everything about it, the aesthetics, the light, the strong conservation message was very, very powerful in this image. So Karamjit Singh, congratulations for this lovely image. Our runner-up in this category is Gyaneshwar of this lovely image of snake in paddy fields. This is a drone image, but I think it really conveys a very special, important issue because in India, I don't know how many people know, but about 50,000 people die every year because of snake bites. And the reason that happens is because most of rural India, they don't wear footwear and they work in fields which has these venomous snakes. And I think this captures that delicate relationship that people have with venomous snakes in India. And that's why we decided to honor this, the runner-up image in the conservation category. So Gyaneshwar, congratulations on this. And our winning image in this category goes to Minshin Khan on this lovely image of Gharial with development/sand mining work going on. So congratulations on this image. I would also like to I would also like to get Ratika on this call because all of us jury members, we felt this really represents a very strong conservation issue that represents Gharial today. So, so Mishin, can you tell a little bit about the image and what made you submit this image and what made you photograph it the way you did?
Hi everyone, my name is Mahisin. Hi Kalyan, hi Ratika. Thank you all juries for
Yeah.
selecting my image. This image taken in Gandak during survey. I'm part of Wildlife Institute of India survey team. That time we surveying the gharial and all those aquatic animals like river dolphin, मगर ऑल दोस थिंग। तो मैंने एक पिक्चर लिया था सुबह जब बास्किंग कर रहा था एक घड़ियाल। तार पीछे जो आप लोग पीछे जो इमेज देख रहे थे वो था जो नदी के बाहर जो काम चल रहा था, मतलब उसके टाइम पे लिया हुआ था। तो मैंने जब लिया था देख रहा था जो लोकल लोग वो इस नदी के ऊपर ही डिपेंडेंट है। तो उधर एक साथ मतलब इंसान और घड़ियाल एक ही पानी के अगल बगल रहते हैं। तो इसके ऊपर ही मैंने एक पिक्चर लिया हुआ था। मैंने उतना सोचा नहीं था जो मतलब इतना स्ट्रांग होगा, मतलब ये इमेज। बट बाद में मैंने मेरे जो सर था उन लोगों को दिखाया, उन्होंने बोला ये अच्छा इमेज है। तो यही छोटा सा स्टोरी है।
Congratulations. No, the whole jury unanimously loved this image. So Ratika, can you talk about why, representing the jury, why we thought this has to be the winning image in the category?
Yes, congratulations, Mahesh, for this image, because I could understood 100%. I had been to Sambal also, same scenario. Not only the skimmers, the river is habitat for this the gharials. It's a Indian skimmers also big. Only the freshwater river also you can see. I think if you go a little bit ahead, you can see Indian skimmers, other water beds also. So exactly, I did photographs also. The land mining, sand mining is going on with the tractor and all. I have the images. I for the article I took. I wrote an article about that also. So I could really understood its impact, because it's I think Ritiman is also telling people are very afraid to showcase photograph like this. You understood the places, areas like this, because Sambal and all, after 8 you can't go by road and all like this. So really we are all juries are appreciated, and especially Dirtiman and myself, we know the scenario. So it's really good thought to keep the people also background also. My congratulations.
Thank you, ma'am.
That's why we selected anonymously. We selected this is the number one. Okay.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, selecting for this image.
We need more
I'm
conceptual
really happy.
photography. Yeah. We need more photographers to come, not only taking beautiful photographs. I always insist we have lot of many photographers coming beautiful pictures. We need more conservation photographer also. Okay, at least 10% we can take photograph like this. Congratulations once again. We really love this. Everyone, we love these images.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Madan. Thank you, Ratika, for that insights. Yeah. So with that, we'll move on to our next category, which is animal behavior. In this category, we always look for unique perspective on animal behavior that we see in our natural world. We always look for images that surprise us, or images of behavior which we've seen before, but somebody's managed to capture with a new perspective. So here are the special mentions in this category. So the first image goes to Kushal. I think this was, for us, it just worked really well because, I know it's easy to see some of these things in Africa, but the way you managed to capture it, the action in the image, the fact that the focus on the warthog young one and this lion chasing it. So we just loved everything about the image. So congratulations on special mention in animal behavior category. Our next special mention is Jackson Johnson of this globe skimmers that he photographed in Coimbatore. As many of you know, they congregate in large numbers, and I still don't understand how they do it, but they migrate from India all the way to Africa. That's small creatures over 2,000 kilometers non-stop. So I just don't know how to do it, but we just love the simplicity, the backlit-ness, and and it's a behavior, this congregate and then they all take off together. And interestingly, I was filming Amur falcons 2 weeks ago, and they all coincide the migration with this because they can eat them on the way. So it was really fascinating. Congratulations, Jackson, for this lovely image. Our next special mention is this lovely image of bee eaters with Shantanu. All of us, when we first know about birds, we hear the word bee eater and we wonder why is it named like that. And it's not that often you actually see bee eaters eating bees, maybe sometimes on a poles or electric wires. But for us, for the whole jury, really love this image because it's mid-flight, catching these bee eaters and the bees, and the bees are all flying around the bee eater. And also the simplicity of the shot. So Shantanu, congratulations for special mention with this lovely image of the bee eater with bees. So with that, we'll move on to our second runner-up in this category. And the winning image goes to Shubham of this lovely image of praying mantis feeding on another praying mantis. If you look closely, you'll notice that the head has been cut off and it's another arm. Again, we just love the simplicity of this image, nice glossy image, but also captures this behavior, the crazy behavior where praying mantis, even when they're mating, once the female's mated, she eats off the male in the process. So Shubham, congratulations on being the second runner-up with this lovely image of praying mantis predating on another praying mantis. Our runner-up in this category winning image goes to Rajat of this lovely image of tiger chasing a mugger crocodile from Ranthambore. And I'd probably like to get Andy here on the call if he's free, because I spend a lot of time in Ranthambore, so does Andy. And I've been trying for the last couple of years to get a shot of this, similar shot. I never been managed to do it. So, and Andy specifically loved this image. So Andy, your comments on this image?
I've been trying for more than a couple of years to get something like this. As you know, the problem with getting tiger pictures, we can all get portraits. The problem is getting the tigers to actually show us something of their lives, something other than portraits or walking. So to get this tiger showing us it doing something, and in the old days, I understand there were tigers that used to do this a lot, like Matchley and tigers like that. That was before my time. I've only ever seen this happen once, and it was just a bit of a game. It wasn't backlit. It wasn't shot wide angle. This has got all of the great things. I know exactly where this is shot from. It's a very difficult angle to get. It's shot backlit. I think the backlit part really makes it really well. It's really nicely framed. It's got good composition. I like the fact that the twigs are hanging down. Some people might say, oh, you should clone those out. No, you shouldn't, because it shows that it's a real wild shot. And it helps to frame it. If you clone those out, you'd have too much dead space at the top there. So I think it's really, really great to leave it as it is. It's just a really nice shot. It's got good separation. It's got good action. And it's showing a tiger doing something. And for those of us that love Ranthambore and wish that we could be there right now and are not allowed to be, it gives me a really, so I had to get that in. It gives me a really, really nice feeling, and it makes me just want to be there so much today. So well done, Raja. It was a great, great image, and I hope to see you there one day.
Thank you, Andy. I specifically wanted you to speak about this image because you know more than anybody else how hard this image is.
Oh, it's fantastic.
Great. So with that, we'll move on to the winner of this category. And the winning image of this category is this lovely image of leopard trying to catch a giant squirrel. So Priyanka, congratulations on this winning image in Animal Behavior Nature and Focus 2021 category. We all unanimously loved it. We know how hard this is, and especially in Indian jungle. So congratulations, and we'd love to more about what happened and what made you capture this.
Thank you, Kalyan. I want to thank you, the entire team of Nature in Focus, and all the jury for appreciating this image. And it really means so much. I can't really express in words. It really means a lot getting it from NIF. So this was just a regular safari in Bandipur. And then another jeep was coming by and told us that there's a leopard high up on a tree ahead. And then we went and saw the leopard high up on the tree, and we were waiting there. After about an hour's time, there was a giant squirrel giving out a call from the next tree. Now, we could not see the squirrel, we could only hear it. And the leopard still did not move. She just wanted to take a nap, but the squirrel was incessantly calling, and she jumped from her branch to the next branch. And then, she was looking up. So we knew the squirrel was somewhere, up on the tree, and then she was looking at eye level. So that's when we gauged that the squirrel's coming down, and we anticipated that something could happen, some actions about to take place. And we quickly changed whatever setting. It was like late in the evening. And then the squirrel came down, and then the leopard came down. And then after that, it's just a whirlwind chase around the tree trunk. And then this is what happened. I mean, the leopard finally managed to catch the squirrel. More than the image, I mean, it's a once in a lifetime experience, what we've seen through the lens or even not through it. I mean, this is something which is beyond words. I mean, I think it just happens once in a lifetime.
Definitely. Congratulations, Priyanka. I would love to
Thank you.
have photographed a film, something like this. And in that tense moment, trying to make sure your focus, exposure, everything is right. It's always stressful.
No, yeah, it was difficult because that particular jeep, it was covered on top, and Bandipur, some of the jeeps are the two-seater in the middle seat, so we have to shoot handheld. You can't, rest your camera on anything, and it was happening for minutes, and the final hunt was less than half a second. But we were there waiting, with the camera held on vertical for about an hour. If the leopard moves, and then it just took off suddenly, and it just a fraction of a second, and everything was over. So yeah, but yes, I think God held my hand. That's what I
And
can say.
also, what we liked is that the simplicity of the image. Leopards are not always easy in Indian jungles. So the fact that you got a nice clean background, and it's just curious. I mean, it almost looks like the leopard's playing with the squirrel. It's not really like
Yes.
predating on it. So
Yes.
congratulations again, and congratulations on this winning image and animal behavior.
Thank
The
you,
whole
thank
jury was
you
pleased by this image.
so very much. I mean, it really means the world to me. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kalyan.
So with that, we'll move on to our last category, which is animal portraits. This is always a hard category for us because we, I mean, not just, I think it's hard for photographers as well, because I normally don't enter animal portraits myself, because you always need to show the animal in a new perspective, new way. It's just not just eye level, the standard definitions of thing we have for images. So with the introduction, I would like to mention the special mentions in this category. The first special mention goes to Stefano. This is the second special mention is getting in this awards. We loved everything about it. The elephant is just hiding behind this bush. The bush is in the shape of an elephant. We just see the trunk and the tail sticking out, and there's sense of humor in it as well. So we really loved this image. So congratulations, Stefan, on this wonderful image of this elephant. Our next special mention goes to Kai, of this hamster going through its path. And if you know the behavior of them, they have these paths in the grassland they continuously use. We just love the simplicity of the image, eye level, and the curiosity of the animal, all captured in one. So congratulations on this lovely image, Kai, with special mention in this category. Our last special mention image goes to Viraj, of this lovely image of an eye of a snail sticking out with rain falling on it. I think unanimously everybody in the jury loved this. We love the use of the warm light of the snail and the cold light of the rain, and also the fact that it's a very cryptic image. You really can't tell what the image is. So congratulations on the special mention in this category. So with that, we'll move to the second runner-up, and the winning image is this image by Lakshita of. I mean, for us, everything, we loved everything about it. Initially, when we saw it, it feels like a black and white image, but then this oxpecker adds color to that image. We also love the fact that as a portrait, the buffalo is symmetrical, but this oxpecker adds this asymmetry to it. So we love that asymmetry in color. We love the asymmetry in the composition as well. It's simple, clean image. So congratulations, Lakshita, on this lovely image for being the second runner-up. Our runner-up in this category is spectacular image of this lion by Panos. I'm sorry if I pronounced that wrong. I think it's, I mean, all the jury from when we did the first round, I think we were quite blown away by it. We just love the intense look of the lion, the fact that it's kind of a frame within a frame where you're using the ribcage as a frame to highlight the predator there. And it kind of tells a story as well, you know. Congratulations, Panos, on this lovely image in animal portraits. And with that, we'll come to the final winning image in this category in animal portraits. And the image winner is Mohammad Murad from Kuwait. It's the image of the African fox with these lights in the city lights in the background. I think from day one, we initially thought it was an Indian image, and we were wondering, you know, because I know a lot of photographers photograph this fox as a little run of Kutch, but it's impossible to get it in lighting like that in nighttime. So only then we did the backup, we realized that it's not from India actually. So unfortunately, Mohammed couldn't join us, but congratulations. But with that, I would like to call all the jury members back on stage. So rather, maybe you can close the presentation. Yeah. So thank you, everybody. I hope you love this image. Now, I'm sure everybody's waiting to hear who the photograph of the year image goes to. Now, this year, we spent over 2 hours fighting with each other, staring at this blank screen, trying to figure out whom should we award that image to. Okay. And unfortunately, we couldn't arrive at and I'll let the jury speak. Demand to you first. Why we could not come up with the photograph of the year award.
Yeah. Yeah. So if we look at the images, I mean, all looked very equal to me. I mean, I was very confused that. In any case, now I don't love to select. I mean, I'm a right person to talk about it. I'm not a right person to select one image for anything. So still, I was trying, but all the images were equally, you know, connecting me, and I can find the way or parameter to take out one image because they are not comparable. I mean, some categories are different, and you know the subject were different. So how I can compare? So it is always a challenge for me. So I'm not a right person to select one image. Maybe I mean I will try maybe next year, but this year I actually thought about it, but I couldn't find. Maybe Andy can put some light on it.
No, I think we all had the same arguments together. We all had our favourite images. I think that we just couldn't agree on what should be an overall winner, and maybe that's right. Maybe there shouldn't be an overall winner because I don't like the title Wildlife Photographer of the Year. It's not photographer. It's a photograph. It's not about the individual.
Yeah.
We don't know who they are. One of the things I just said to everyone is I'm really pleased about the mix of male and female. Okay. Now I don't have a clue when we judge. We don't see the names anyway. None of us do. But I'm really, really glad, and I want that to be encouraging to females to enter this competition and youngsters as well. You know, I think it was just fantastic. And for me to look at this from a perspective now, seeing all these images, I can't pick one of those that should be the winner, despite my bias towards certain ways of shooting, I can see the skill in the other ways of shooting. So, yeah, it's a nightmare. And when you look at some of the runners up, you suddenly think, well, how did we choose the winner from that? Because it was just as good. It's really difficult. And I think to be a judge, I think we had a really, really difficult job this year. And I think we did our best. Rutka, what does Rutka think about that? I know she had some good views and help on it as well.
Yes, yeah. All four, all the genre of categories, all the top photographs are good for me. So selecting one photograph for the photograph of the year, it's not fair to for others, in my opinion. So I couldn't agree with who to select as photograph of the year. So finally we decided, okay, maybe this year we are not giving. Is it correct, Kalyan? Yeah.
We decided to sleep over it for 2-3 days, but
Yes,
even
yes.
that didn't help.
Actually, this is a good beginning. So we actually identified our limitation of thinking in that perspective. So it is really difficult to select one photo from those photos. And I suggest from this year we couldn't do it, and from next year don't go for like a photograph of the year or something like that. It is like inspiring photographers for
Yes.
doing great work. So it is like few categories, lot many photographers are included. They are, I mean, why we tell them, wow, you are doing great job, so that all of you can do more great job. Selecting
And
one image, like, separating someone from the community, keep them together.
I agree.
Keep them
I
together.
agree.
Yeah.
I think maybe a portfolio of the winning images
yes,
as a collective is a really good idea. And maybe not even having a winner, like you said, having a group of winners. And I think that would be so unique. And it would be quite refreshing to have. I think it would be different as your competition. It would be very, very different. And I think it would encourage a lot of people to enter.
Yes.
Because, I mean, sometimes, we've all won competitions. You get a little bit embarrassed by winning a competition when you see that you don't think your picture's the best. It's just that the judges have thought it's the best, but you look at other pictures, you think, oh, that should have won. You get a bit embarrassed. Well, I think it'd be nicer to have a collection of images that are all winners. Just my thought.
So, yeah.
Yeah,
So I would like
portfolio we can include next year, Kalyan and Rohit, because most of the other even international contestants they have the section portfolio for images, no? So that at least 5-6 pictures, 10 pictures, no? We can have the continuity of the photographer thoughts, concept.
So
and I'd
here's
like to be a judge. I'd like to be a judge because I don't want to enter. Because if I enter, I won't come anywhere. So I'd like to be a judge, please.
Now you sign up for life. Yeah. I'd like to get Radha on the call as well, because I'm planning to propose something radical, and this is something that someone's been pushing us as well. What do you think about taking away the first, second, third, and special mentions, but we pick 6 to 8 images per category as winning? Maybe we shouldn't call it winning images as well, but jury selection images.
Judges selection, jury selects, yeah.
And just leave it at that. It's quite a radical for any competition on this planet, but we are ready to experiment. And I know that the whole team is here, Radha, Rohit, everybody. So we would love to hear jury feedback. And actually, even the participants, actually, if you can write to us with your feedback, we'll really love to appreciate it. We want to make it better, advance every year after year. So we'd love to hear your thoughts from other jury members on going in that direction.
Yeah. So in my opinion, if I am honest about my thought, and if I am convinced about my thought process, I can go for it. Maybe initially some people will not like it, or maybe, and not liking doesn't mean that it is against or something. It's like convincing is the essential thing. I mean, why we are saying this, because we have some logic, so we can convey that logic. Some may agree, some may not agree. It's a process. But if at least we are convinced and honest about it, we can go for it. And always change is constant. I mean, change is the biggest truth. We should.
Someone has to be the first. Someone has to be the first to do it.
Yeah, and I'm telling this for many years, that there should be like this. Yeah.
I'll support you.
Great.
I think we're known
So,
as troublemakers. We're out. We're entering the competition next year because we're known as troublemakers. That's it. We're done.
Yeah. And I want to congratulate all the participants, not the winners. All the participants, I want to congratulate that they have participated to do some great job of connecting people with the nature.
I think we should dedicate the winning image to all of those people out there who didn't place at all, but who went out there and sat in ditches, sat in bushes, sat in the hot, sat in the cold, gave up their family, gave up their nights, gave up their nights out, gave up their social life for their pursuit of their art that they love. All of these people are unsung heroes, okay, here in wildlife photography. And I think anyone who wins any of these awards should always dedicate the reward to all of the people out there who don't enter, who don't win anything, and they just do this because they love animals and wildlife. And that's the best thing. That's the thing why we all do this, right? Otherwise, we wouldn't do it. We certainly don't do it for the money. We do it for the love and the passion of what we do. And I think we should dedicate this award to all of the unsung people out there who day in, day out are going out to fulfill their passions. And I think that's the best thing we can do.
And I really want to acknowledge this is family for us. Nature in Focus. It's not just the condo, whatever, but every year, we have the festival. We have all these people, and we've all met such amazing friends at the festival and people who enter the contest. So I really like to thank. I mean, in some sense, they are Nature in Focus family. It's a bunch of us who run it, but it's what's everybody's contribution that makes it happen. Ratika, what's your thoughts? And I'm happy. We are happy for general tweaking of the format as well. One of the feedback we got is also just giving more number of images they can enter, and there shouldn't be a category limit on number of images.
Yeah, Kalyan, if you ask me, there is still time for the next year, no? Maybe rather have time, just Google form, no? We can ask your regular participants, no? Just send a mail to them, you database of emails, you can send them, we can get a feedback from them also. Of course, I like to this format, I am okay for it, because there is sometimes if you're going to change the system, the winning starts, no? Always people will think why we need for top first three, we are our mind is used to that format, so anything new will take some time to accept it, okay? But the better way is we can ask for our regular participants, all the even page also, Instagram and other Facebook, your own database also. Radha can take a survey, then we can go ahead, you can go ahead it.
And I would suggest another two categories as well. One on humor,
yes,
and one on showcasing Indian wildlife, because I know you want to make this competition international, but I personally loved looking at a place that I call my second home. I love looking at the pictures of my second home, and from a personal level, for me, I want to see more wildlife pictures from India. So we should have a category that is just Indian wildlife. It can be taken by anybody, but it's showcasing Indian wildlife and the beauty, because at the end of the day, we want people to come to India, subject to visas being allowed. We want people to come to India to enjoy the beauty of India and what it's all about. And I think we need a category that showcases that. Just my view.
Thank you, Andy. No, definitely. I think we spoke about it while judging the contest as well. So, Rohit and Radha, I'd love to hear your comments on how the festival was this year and what's the direction that we would like to do together as a team for the coming years.
Rohit, you first.
Why? You can go ahead, Radha. I would like to hold my comments right now. I reserve my comments. I shall have a parallel chat with Ritiman separately and a parallel chat with Andy later.
I just want to point out that this is how bosses are, right? They'll bring in, yeah.
Yeah, we're in trouble.
Yeah. So I just want to say, I think, like Kalyan was saying earlier, the kind of photographs, the variety that we saw in both creative nature and conservation, it was just amazing. And over the years, this is something that we've all commented that, conservation issues, the photographs are always, what I call by the way photographs. I was in the safari jeep, I happened to see a plastic cover and there was a deer next to it. So I will take that photograph and submit it to NIF. That's the kind of pictures we've been seeing, an overwhelming number. But I think this year we saw people who've put in concerted efforts, who've specifically sought out issues and gone and documented them and, written nice captions to go with them, explaining the issue and, those kind of things. I think that's really a highlight for me, at least this year, and the kind of complexity of images in creative nature photography. It's just so delightful to see those images. So thank you everyone for putting in that specific effort, into doing these things. And the young photographers as well. I think the bar is raising higher and higher and higher. And very soon, I think one of the, now that we are doing away with, we may be doing away with the photographer of the year, but you never know, it could have been a young photographer too, because it's just getting so good. And yeah, we've been listening to Dhritimant's advice about this for a while now, and I think it's time to implement it. I'm all for this change.
Rohit, your thoughts? You have to say something. Come on. You can't be the boss.
So I agree to the point of Dada, where we talk about being the photograph of the year. It holds the weight, and we should look at doing that. And obviously, what Ratika also said and Ali also said is that we should look at a portfolio of images rather than basis one of the image. So if we go on that way, we can talk about photographer of the year. If you are able to see a collection of images been shot in last couple of years, then you are able to figure out the kind of images the person has been taking over a bit of time and how creative the person is. Natural history is something which we know that you being at a right place at the right time, and you may be able to make those kind of images. But there are a lot of people who put an effort to make a very different kind of images altogether. So in terms of a format, I agree that we should look at an IF photograph of the year, or we look at, if you're looking at photographer, then that has to be a review of the whole portfolio. In terms of, we are talking about this change that we should look at the, in every category, top 3 or top 5 as the best images. But I still would like to go with Ratika that we should go back to the people and check with the photographers that how they would like to take it up. Because see, it's a kick for an individual when he is the winner, a category winner, or photographer of the year. It's a different kick for that individual. We shouldn't take away from that. If we go back to the photographers, participants, and try to get their feedback, and basis that we take our decision, I think that will be more worthwhile.
So thanks, Rohit, and we'll definitely write to everybody and love to hear all your feedback, and we'll incorporate that in the coming year. So thank you, everybody. Special thanks to the jury for spending considerable time on this, and I know everybody is in remote areas, traveling all the time. So thank you for taking that time off. Really appreciate it. And I also want to apologize one more time for delaying the announcement of the results. We just wasn't in our hands. And we love the fact that some of you made memes about us and made fun of us. We appreciate that. And we love it. So thank you, everybody. And any final words from anybody? We'll wrap it up in 5 minutes.
I would like to thank Andy, Dada, Ratika, and everybody. They spend a lot of time, a lot of their personal time in looking at all the images and getting into the conversation, getting into those discussions, arguments. Obviously, they were very serious about role, what they were playing in this whole competition. So thank you for all the jury members. You play a huge role in making the contest going one level up every year. And that could happen only because of the jury members.
But we all play the important role. It is all participants, you, me, all. Don't forget that steering is not very important than brake in a car. Don't say that. I mean, all are important, all are equally important. So you don't have to give us special thanks to.
What I was trying to say, Dada, what I was trying to say is that, a contest will be a normal contest. But if you have your systems, you have your processes, you have a very strong jury, and the jury which is looking at all the images from a viewpoint, the kind of experience what you have, the kind of time you have spent in the field. So it makes a huge difference to a contest, the kind of jury that contest has got, and the process. So so that's the reason I said that it is all up to you all. The amount of time you spend looking at images means if you have to go over 10,000 odd images is not a joke. And having discussions, having thought processes that why that image is standing out. I'm not saying it's better or not better, but it's standing out, which is inspiring you it is communicating or conveying a message. So it is a role which is very important role. I understand that there is a role which has been played by the participant, but there is a role which you are also playing here. And it's very, very important because that gives a confidence to the participants that yes, they do a good job.
Can I say one more thing? One last thing?
Please.
Sure.
This is to everyone out there that's entered or is watching this. Forget about the kit that you're using and getting involved in meaningless arguments. Get out there and take great pictures. And especially to those people in India, get out there and show the rest of the world how amazing this country is that I love so much. So please do that. Don't get involved in the technical arguments. Just get out there and do your photography for fun. Do your photography for your mental health to make you feel good. And if you happen to do well in a competition, brilliant. But that is not why you do your photography. It's for your mental health and your well-being, and to show all of us in the world. There are plenty of people that aren't as lucky to see as much nature as we do. We're very lucky to see that nature, and it's our job to take that nature to people that don't see it and say, this is why we need to conserve. This is why we need to worry about climate change. This is why we need to conserve and protect our species. And we are the PR people for wildlife out there that doesn't have a voice. We are its voice. So keep on doing it. And that's all I kind of have to say.
Thank you, Rohit, Tomki. Thank you, Kalyan. It's a pleasure for me to part of the jury panel and part of this contest as a jury. And my best wishes to all the photographers who participated. Congratulations to the winners once again. Have a good evening, guys. Yeah.
Thank you.
And my I have a last point to say. I just sorry. Just remember to. I mean, it's like
2 minutes, yeah.
No, 30 seconds. Kollan won, like we saw Kollan won the sanctuary, the winning image there. So what I want to say, I never won any competition actually. I mean, like maybe 2, 3. I mean, I don't know. It's less, and I'm still doing the job. I mean, I've been doing it for last 21 years, no more than 23 years, without winning any competition or anything. So people who are not winning the images doesn't mean anything. They can go in the field and work. So I'm doing the same thing. Maybe that's why I am in favor of that, no? Because I couldn't win anything.
You have won so many awards, Dada, and you're still saying that you have not. But
you are running under wildlife photography, Diptima. Who need awards? Awards for Diptima.
Okay.
So if it's okay, I would just want to add that, like Rohit was saying, processes and, it takes a lot to run this. So I just want to say thanks to my colleagues who work behind the scene and put in a lot of effort into all this. There's Nikhil Sharmila who work on all the edits. There's Abhilash who works on the incredible design. And there's Nelson who keeps our technology going and strong. Thank you all for working on this with us.
Thank you, everybody.
Yeah, thank you.
Monday evening. So the images will be published tomorrow on the website, so you can see the high resolution images and the captions, everything that goes with it. Thank you, everybody, for who's participated. I especially want to thank the jury members for taking your time off and considering these images. And we look forward to seeing you all next year and hopefully in person. So thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye.